Hi, surprise, it's me. We are Tuesday night. We are doing the live now because I'm in the shop on my own. So I haven't been able to leave the shop today. So we're doing it now, okay? This is really weird, me coming over to Sarah's without wine or gin. It's really weird for me. So we are going to do charming cushions. Okay, so obviously I'm using a charm pack to do cushions. And hiya Ali, how are you? You alright? Look, I wore purple in honour of you. So hiya Anne. I have this as well, look. So we just wait for a couple of you to come on. Hiya Claire. And we will go from there. This is what we're going to do. This is the charming cushion, right? Now, I did this as a class way back before the big COVID. But it was, this was the top of the cushion, and then it had a box cushion and some foam inside. But I wanted to make it simpler with something that you might have at home that you would have in your cupboards and stash. I mean, I don't know if any of you have got any stash or charms that you're not going to do anything with. So I thought I'd come up with something for you. So, hello Carolyn and Carol. I've lost you, hang on. And Angela. Leslie. It was lovely to meet you as well, Leslie. It's always nice to meet people at the shows and put some faces to some names and everything. Hiya, Eileen. And Freddie. Oh, I thought you might be here. Freddie, you're waiting to see whether you've won this, aren't you? Marilyn. Marilyn, I miss your face. Stash. Yeah. I'm sure none of you have got any stash, so the idea is to get rid of some of these stash things. Hiya Natalie, and Mary, and Karen. God, must be almost the middle of the night, Karen. Right, okay. We're going to start with this. Now, I don't know whether you have a look at it when you buy it to see what you're going to win, but you can have 5 meters of fabric of your choice, 1 meter of wadding of my choice, whichever to put my hand on first. You get a charm pack, which you can then make 2 cushions, or 2.5 cushions. 5 moon threads, and we've had a load new colours in, so you'll get some really nice colours. A fat quarter bundle, whatever I can find. 1 panel, 1 jelly roll, 1 June Tailor, 1 rotary blade, 1 pack of needles, 1 gecko ruler, and 1 gecko pattern. Now, if you've won this before or have your rulers, I will allow, when you tell me the 5 meters of fabric, you can tell me which rulers you have got or patterns that you would like, okay? Seems it's me in charge this week. So, without further ado, oh, ow, put the iron on and then forgot. We're going to do this, so... Here, no stash, just loads of fabric. So, right, this is our lovely thing. So we're going to keep going. We'll go from this side. So, are you all drum rolling? Holding your breath. Look at this. How far can we go? It's quite a small name. So if you've had a really long name, it's Johnny Cash with his Ring of Fire. Okay, so Johnny Cash is Leah Smith. So well done, Leah. I shall be in touch with you tomorrow, should I not hear from you. Oh, did you see any of that? Did you see any of that? Because it all went really weird. don't know whether you saw any of that. Let's go back to here. You did you? You saw that. Yeah, the picture weirdness, didn't know whether or not you would have seen it. So it was Johnny Cash. I don't know whether that's good. Yeah, that'll come out right. Johnny Cash, and it was Leah Smith. Okay. Oh, that's going to be really weird. Right, let's give it another go, shall we? Right, so this is the cushion we're making. Okay, it is simple. I've tried to make it as simple as I possibly could. Okay, so we start off by making our square. All right, so I've started this. I don't know why it's doing that. I think we're just going to have to do it. There we are. I think we're just going to have to do it like this, okay? I don't know what that's doing. Oh, sugar in there.
Right, let me just check the plugs a second. Just wiggle the plugs, make sure they're all in, because sometimes it's when it's trying to find the plug. You know, it's trying to find the connection. It was doing it the other day in the thunderstorm. It was doing that. Make sure everything's all in properly. Try again with it. If it keeps doing it, I don't know why it's doing it, but it was doing it the other day with the thunderstorm.
Right, okay.
No, it could be electrical.
It's all frozen now.
Ah, right, okay. 2 seconds. Sorry guys, 2 seconds. Let me just try this. Right, try now. There we go. Okay, that might... Sometimes if one of the leads get knocked, it does it because it's trying to, it's like a dodgy connection. But then the other day when we had that thunder and lightning, it was doing it as well. It was doing it all the time. It was a pain in the bum.
Right. Well, I've now had a heart attack, which scared me.
I opened the door quite loudly.
I was half expecting you. You know when you're waiting for a cuckoo clock to go off,
yeah,
and then it goes off, and you jump.
Cuckoo!
Yeah, it was like that. My little cuckoo had come in. Right. Okay. Let's start this again. 3. Right. Okay. So I've started the square. I'm doing a 16 by 16 because that's about the same, the right size for my bottom. Okay. And I've already started these. So you're going to pair them up. All right. So you do pair by pair. Pair by pair. Okay. So we're going to go over here. And Sarah's got a little guide on, so I'm going to use that guide. Alright, and we're going to chain piece these together. Okay, so I've got to remember how to use the machine now. And remember that it cuts. Okay, so we're doing 1/4 inch on that one. So I'm doing them in pairs. Alright, we're just putting pairs together. Like this. Oh. Okay, so we're doing pairs together, and then we're going to sew our pairs into a 4. Okay, so I'm going to take these. Got a lot of orange going on. There seemed to be a lot of orange in the pack. So we are going to do a 4. All right, like that. Well, I like that. I put the foot on it, and it started sewing. So that's quite sweet. Okay, so we're going to do this. I started looking at, when I was putting them together, I started looking at trying to do them so that I had a rainbow effect going out. But they just didn't have the right combination of things. So, so I stopped doing that. Right, so going back to this one here. Now, you know about nesting seams, don't you? You know about if you iron one lot that way and another lot that way, that you end up being able to nest your seams so that they sit together and you get better points sometimes. Okay, so we are going to iron. I'm going to have a look at this. That'll be all right. So this one is ironed that way. So I'm going to iron this one this way. Okay, so I'm just pushing that out. I'm going to iron that one that way, that one that way, and that one that way. Okay, so then we can iron that, sew that on there. So we've got our thingies. So because I went that way with that one, I'm going to go that way. So I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to go that way with that one. Okay. Like that. And hopefully that will all fit in lovely. Right, okay, over to here. Now you can pin them so that they you know that they're all interlocking, but you know that we don't do pinning unless we really have to. It's a straight line. It's a cushion. It's going to be under your bottom. So it's one of those things where it won't matter if it's slightly out anyway. So, yeah, somebody must have fed the gremlins at midnight. Well, I've come in. It's absolutely belting it down out there. I tell you what, leaving my nice warm little seat, watching Blower to come out in the rain to come over to Sarah's, it was not something that I would normally be doing. So you lot are honoured. There we go. So that's one. Does like to take its time, doesn't it? So we're now going to check my thingies. They're going that way. So I want to make sure that when I put this on here, this is going the other way, which it is. So we're going to... Now this charm pack was Carnival. Boutiques, I think it was called Carnival. Ages and ages I've had this one. It just happened to be the one on the top. So I thought I would give it a go. It's nice and bright anyway. It's time my llama one was changed. I've got that many table mats and cushions in my house. I'd stop making them out of boutiques and I wouldn't want to keep them then, would I? So, there we go. Okay, so cut that there. Right, let's go back to there. So pictures are better now. That's good. And we did have good weather. A good jump. Oh, she scared the bejesus out of me. So we are looking at this, right? So we are here and I've started ironing my long seam that way, so I'm going to continue with that. So we're going to go along here and we're just going to, as you can see, I've got no colour pattern on this at all now, which is fine. With the other one I did one plain, one one plain, one pattern. So Sarah's running a poll at the moment as to whether you want a 7 o'clock. There we go. So we now have a square. Now this is just slightly smaller than an English fat quarter. Okay, an American fat quarter I think is not quite big enough, and I'm hoping I've picked up an English fat quarter. It's just big enough with an American one, because of course they're 18-inch. And this is now 18 by 18, so it's perfect size for a cushion as well. So I have a fat quarter. Haha, it's going to be all right. So just going to put the iron over this. Get out some of the wrinkles. So we prefer 3 1 o'clocks, but not adverse to a 7. Well, yeah, sometimes we need to do the 7s, but yeah, it's sometimes it's just not possible, is it? Right, so we're going to put our fat quarter right sides together, not that it matters with this, right sides together with our fat quarter. Okay, there we go. And I am going to chop off the excess, if I can find all Sarah's bits. Okay, so now I haven't squared this up. By all means go ahead and square it up. As you can see from the other one, the one I did, it sort of I did square that one up, and it just became very fluid anyway. So I think that is your choice. Okay, there we go. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to sew all the way around 3 sides. I'm going to sew from there, no, there. So you want to come in about here, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to stuff up these lines, all right? So you want to come around the corner because it's easier for finishing off. Come around the corner, but you don't want to go in too far because you want to be able to get your stuffing up, all right? So I'm going along here. Okay, so I'm going to start here and I'm going all the way around. Okay. Okay, so we're going to start here. We're going down along to the corner. See, very easy so far. So you're just putting all your squares together, or you could use your orphan block if you wanted. This doesn't. Yeah, you could use orphan blocks if that's what you would prefer. You just need to be able to stuff it. I suppose that would make quite an interesting pattern for stuffing, because I'm going to stuff it by squares. I think it's shifted. Didn't pin that one enough, did I? So I'm going to be stuffing it by squares. So you need to think about it if you're using a different shape. But there's no reason why you can't use different shapes to stuff it. I thought for a minute I'd gone too far then. Go all the way down here. And then go just round the corner. To there. And it's going to cut itself off there. Got these pins. Go back over here. Right. So we've now got a square. Trouble is with this type of fabric is it doesn't matter what colour you use on it, you can't see it. Right, now we are going to cut off our corners. We're going to cover them anyway, but it's always good practice to just cut off your corners so that you get a sharp corner. Okay, so I've done that, and now I'm going to turn it inside out. So once it's all pushed out, ooh, like this. Now the longest bit is stuffing it, I think. So you're really going to have to be talking to me at that point. But until then, I can witter on. It would help if I could actually see the writing from here. So it's, there we go. So I've done this, and you could then sew out, you know, roll your seams and iron it out. But I found if you stick your prodder down the seam like that, it pretty much pulls it out. Now we are going to now sew down the lines. Okay, so what we do is we sew down these lines now, and then we stuff by rows, and then sew that one up, then stuff this row, sew it up. Okay, so we're going to take it back over, and I'm going to sew those 3 lines. All right. Yeah, it's I like the interaction when live. I like you lot to think about, you know, talk to me, which is really good. I like it when you talk to me. Right, so we are now going to follow. We've got to ignore the guide. So we're gonna. It's not going to be easy, is it, Seth? No. That's going to have to come off. I can never find anything, can I? Right, hang on. It's going to have to come off. You come in.
You want it on, do you?
Yeah, I can't. It won't sew. What would I do without her, eh?
Well,
Just pull it. Oh, there you go.
it's off now.
Thanks, Smar. There you go. She's in the middle of a tea.
Oh, I'm in the middle of telling my sister about my new pond.
Oh, I've lost my camera. Okay. Are we there? There we are. No. It doesn't want to stay. I think think I deserve some chocolate after this. It'll have to do for now. Okay, so we're just sewing. I'm just stitching in a ditch. Now, some of the ones that I saw, when they sewed the squares together, they put like a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch tuck at the in the sides of each square, each side of the squares, so that it became more puffy. But you can see from mine, it really didn't need it. And yesterday when I did it, I put a variegated cotton in so that it would disappear rather than it being white. But I think you're not going to see it because it all puffs up. It depends on how puffy you want to make it, of course. Last one, I'm going along here. I like this, put your foot down and it yeah, that's really changed, isn't it? I like this, putting your foot down at the beginning instead of having to put it down manually. You just put your foot on the pedal and it goes down. There we go. Right, so we have now done our lines down the bottom, okay? Down the middle, right? So now we just stuff it. So what have we been doing? So what have you all been up to? So you're going to get some frog spawn for your ponds, are you? I think you have to wait until next year now. You'll have baby frogs. You'll have frogs all over the house. So we're just filling each one of these, however much you want in there, okay? But you're just filling one square at a time. Now it's at this point I wish I'd made another one, because you don't want to watch me shoving fluff up 16 squares. Now the one that we did in class became a box cushion instead of the next stage that I did, and we did each square different and then sewed them together. In fact, it was a completely different cushion. I don't know what I'm on about. It was a completely different cushion, and I think I threw it out the other day because I never really finished it, and I thought I'm never going to use this. So it was a box cushion, and then you after you put all the fluff and everything in, you then put a zip and everything, and then some foam underneath this, so it became quite high. So it was one of those, it was an all-day project really when we were teaching it as a class. So you can see I'm stuffing these up, right, and you just want them to be roughly the same. Okay, last one. There we go. And we're going up here. What we're using for the stuffing, I have, this is my stuffing bag, okay? This is an IKEA bag, and I buy a king size quilt, cheap king size quilt, and it goes in my stuffing bag, and then I just pull it out bit by bit. So I stuff everything with that. We started off, we were buying cushions from IKEA or anywhere that they were selling them off fairly cheap, and and using the stuffing from that because it's cheaper than if you buy toy stuffing. There we go. So we go along here, make sure that's stuffed up there. You'll be able to manoeuvre it a little bit, and then we go back over to the machine. Okay. There we go. We use, we used to use the posh stuffing, Mary, but we found that we were using so much of it. The stuffing that you get in duvets are they're rigorously, they have regulations. They meet the regulations, so we started using that because the amount of cushions and things we do with a bit of stuffing in, we could bankrupt you all. So tomorrow I'm going to show you a few things in the shop at 1 o'clock, and oh boy, there is some Lush stuff. I can't wait to show you. It's one of our favourite. It's one of our favourite collections for the year. Unfortunately, it's Christmas, but we'll gloss over that a bit. So you can see that we now have a fluff. It's all fluffy, and you can see it's coming in a bit because we're going up. It's coming in. So and I've sewn a line along there to keep that puff in its puffness, and we just keep stuffing and sewing. There we go. We're going to shove this in here. I had a play with my new overlocker this weekend. I did a lot of stitches. It actually threads like a dream, and when they say it threads with air, it really does. You stick your thread into a hole, press a button, and it goes and blows it and threads it through all the pipes that you used to have to use tweezers for. It was amazing, absolutely amazing. Can't tell you how much I love it. Not that I've sewn anything with it. I've sewn a lot of pieces of fabric together with different stitches to have a play around with it. But yeah, I'm very excited for what I can do with it. And I did and ah about doing this with it, because this would be an overlocker thingy to a certain point. However, I suppose you couldn't do down. You could do down the middle with it, take the cutters off. Apparently you should be able to do almost anything with an overlocker that you would do with a sewing machine, but you don't know. We will have to see. Right, so that's my second row stuffed. So let's go over here and we will sew down this line. Down here. As you can see, I'm not being overly careful with this. Again, you're not going to see that you've gone crooked, so I wouldn't worry too much that you're not getting it stuffed in the ditch, okay? Because by the time you've look at that. Did it all with my feet. Right. So where are we? I want 3. So you can see that as it builds, you're not going to see your stitching in there anyway. All right. Quite looking forward to being able to use these. So we're on to stuffing the next one. A baby lock. Yes, I got my baby lock from J&B Sewing. It's not the cheapest one out there, I have to admit, but if overlocking worries you with how you're going to thread it and all of this, it really is absolutely easy, and it just sewed like a dream. So now I've just got to learn how to work out parameters, you know, how to do a seam allowance and stuff. I'll probably do what I normally do and just go ahead and make something. Sometimes I think that's the best way to learn. I might get a piece of fabric that I'm not overly attached to, like my Cosmic Otters. One day I'm going to make something out of those Cosmic Otters. I'm going to make a dress from the Cosmic Otters. Okay, there we go. Nearly there. Won't be long, girls, won't be long. It just honestly, we've got a Janome in the shop of the overlockers, and although Sarah says it's really easy to use, it foxed me. Like all machines with me, it works one day and then it didn't work the next for me. But I think that's only because I didn't practice enough with it. I'm sure that it's a perfect machine. I've got a feeling that's the one our friend Jill had. So I think that's one reason why we went with it, because she said it was really good. But yes, it's one of those. I think any machine is good as long as you learn how it works. You know, this Bernina, the more I use it, the more I like bits about it. Still not sure I'd swap it for my brother though. That's just designed to go wrong now, isn't it? Now I've said something about it. Okay, so we're stuffing my last row now. Okay, and we're going to cover the edge, go around the edge with a binding. All right. So we're going to just finish stuffing these. See, as you can see, it doesn't take any time at all, really. It's a really quick make. And how nice would it be to do something like this for a friend, for their garden, as a birthday present, or if you're people that do charity stalls or stalls, do this and make 4 so that they're the same. You could mark it out and do it with 2 fat quarters. There's no reason why you have to do it with the charm pack. You could just do the 2 fat quarters and you end up with a frilly finished cushion anyway. And we've all got fat quarters we don't know what to do with. Right, now this bit here, we are going to be covering it with a binding. So I wouldn't worry too much about how it's going to close. You know, you don't need to make sure that it's pristine, because we are going to we're going to close it with a binding. So what we're going to do is I'm going to just stick a couple of stitches in there just to make sure that it's closed, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. Like that. We could do this with an iron set. Right, I've got some ribbon, and you don't have to do this bit. This is if you want. I'm going to cut it about half a metre, 20 inches. We're going to put this in so that you can tie it to a chair if you wish. Okay, so these just go in and you can then tie it to a chair so that it doesn't come off. Okay, so we want to, I'm doing a lot of this on camera, I'm sorry, like that. We're going to cut those, that end. Now, I don't know whether you've worked it out, I like, two of the same, from the same one. I like to do practical things. You know, I'm a great believer there are only so many quilts that you can make before people go, I don't want a quilt, thank you. So we're going to shove that in there like that, and then as we sew this, top stitch this closed, we're going to go over that so that it catches in there. Okay, right, are we all still with us? Oh. Yeah, they're quite difficult to thread, aren't they, Carol? A lot of you did scrubs. It's something we just never had the time. Sarah's mum did a lot of scrubs on hers. We just never had the time. It just didn't work that way. Right, so I'm going to come along here and I'm just going to stick in a top stitch. Make sure that your ribbon is sticking out in the right direction, otherwise you'll come a cropper. Okay, so I'm going to just tuck all that in there. I don't know whether I can go backwards. Can I go backwards? Oh, what have I done now? No, can't go backwards. Right. I pressed a button and I don't know what that did. Okay. See, if you iron it, it's a lot easier, Sarah. Come on. Just going to close this up like this. I'm going to cover all this terrible end up anyway. Okay. So I'm going to shove that in there like that. There we go. Okay, so where are we? Okay, so we're at this point now. I have my ribbons sticking out and I have my binding. Now you can do it in two ways. I put it on the back, okay? I put it on all the way round from the back. And then I folded it over and sewed it down. It's a cushion. You're not going to notice after a while anyway. So I just sewed it like that, which is probably the quickest. You could do a bias type thing where you fold this in like that and then sew it in one go, but I'm never very successful at that, I have to be honest. Or you can sew it on the front and then sew it by hand on the back. Okay, we are going to do it this way round. So I'm going to start in the middle here. Okay, I'm going to give it so that I've got enough there. Right, I always start your fabric in the middle of your item, okay, and then you're going to start sewing a little bit further away from the end. This gives this amount of play for when you're trying to put it together at the end. Now, if I remember rightly, and it's the same as yesterday, there is only just enough fabric in this to go all the way round. And then I ran out of fabric anyway. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to go round to the edge. When we get to these, you need to pull these out of the way at the front. Okay, and then you're going to sew it down. Oh, look, I missed a bit. You're going to sew it down. That way and then when we sew it on the front, you bring them back and sew them again. So they're really in proper hard. Proper hard, proper tight, proper right. Okay, so let's take our proper right cushion over here. Oh. I was expecting swearing then. Right, okay. So we're doing a 1/4 inch. Just going all the way down here, and we're gonna mitre the corners just like you would with a quilt. Okay, so you come down here and you want to stop about a 1/4 inch away from the edge, and then you're going to turn it without knocking the camera. Turn it and then sew off the edge. Okay. And then you fold it away from where you're going and then back. Alright. Oh no, you leave your ribbons out. That's right, leave your ribbons out, sticking out, and then we're going to start again. Okay, so this is my edge where I've been a bit faffy. I'm going to follow the orange. And I've run out of thread. Hang on. Okay. We're going to a black. Okay, so. Just re-threading the top here.
Let me do it.
No.
You got it?
Okay, up, down. Where's the thing? Right there?
No, there's one here.
One there, like that?
Yeah, and then there's one here, so you've got to go to the left and back that way.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then thread the needle.
How?
Oh, I still haven't worked that out. Just thread it normally. I haven't had time to play with it. I got the manual out earlier and then I just started sewing because it was white.
Okay. Helps if you can see the hole. Oh, I think I've done it. Look at this. Okay. Okay, right. Just a bit of binding. Okay. I think the sensors on mine have stopped. Doesn't tell me when I'm running out of bobbin anymore. Right, okay. Here we go. So we're just going along here. It's not liking this at all.
You've come out of the side loop, love. You're only in the front one, not the side one.
Right, we're just clearing out the... Right, that's the right one. I can't...
Okay, do you want me to do it while you...
No, I'll just talk it through.
Okay.
I'll just talk it through. Okay, me and technology.
Oh,
We've
no, yeah, that's completely not.
me and technology have jammed up Sarah's machine. So anyway, you would go all the way round here, all the way round and into there. Looks like I've got enough, which is good. So go into there, and then you're just going to flip it over and either hand sew it or sew it by machine. So as you come round to sewing on the front, if you pull these forward and sew over them and then pull them back over again and sew over, they'll hold in like that, so you're not pulling as much. Okay, and that's it. And there's cushions. There's cushions for in whatever you like. I mean, like I say, you could do it in fat quarters. There's no reason why you have to use a charm pack. You could just mark it out in your 5-inch squares and then just follow that. There you go. Ta-da! I think that one's gone as well. Yeah. Am I?
No, it's the camera's moved. Because
Yeah.
you move the laptop
What do you
back.
mean?
Let's push the camera. There you go.
Is that enough? I hate I hate technology. You don't like me. So there you go. Right, I'm leaving Sarah now. She's got her machine in pieces here now. She's
You had managed to get a piece of thread like wrapped round the
look,
bobbin shuttle.
she's doing
Look. I had to got it all messed up in here.
no, there.
Well,
So yeah,
oh no, this is frozen.
it's slow.
then.
No, it isn't.
Oh, no,
It's
there we
just
go.
slow.
Yeah, look, I've had to take it all apart. She got it all jammed up in there. I'm not letting you use my lovely machine.
Okay.
I'm gonna put the old one out for you, the little diddy old one.
Okay. Suits me. Yes. It worries me terribly that I'm going to break it, and then J&B are going to shout at me. So yeah, that's it. That's my first 7 o'clock all done. I'm going to go home and use my machine now to finish that one off. We're going to go back to watching Glow Up. I love that programme.
I know you do.
I do. So, what'd she say? Ding dong, darling. Ding dong. So, right.
I've been watching all the old Sewing Bees. It's been brilliant. They're all back on iPlayer now. All of a
They're back
sudden.
on iPlayer,
Yeah.
are they?
I'm very happy, Bunny.
You're most welcome, everybody. It would be great in baby material. Yes, it would. You could do... I mean, we've talked about doing a puff quilt, haven't we?
Yeah, no, well,
For
if
years.
we do a 7 o'clock, that we can do a slightly more involved project. So maybe if we did like Tuesday and Thursday, we do 1 o'clock, but a Wednesday, we did a 7 o'clock, and we can take it in turns. But we can do something a bit more involved that doesn't need that. It's got to be 20 minutes, half an hour type thing.
It's supposed to be 20 minutes, half an hour, is it?
Yeah, not when you do it. It's not.
Hour, normally.
But do you know what I mean? It's that idea that we can do something a bit more involved if we do an evening one, which not that we're running out of ideas, but we are running out of ideas a little bit.
We're running out of quick ideas.
Yeah.
So
There's hundreds of
shearing.
things to do.
I want to do shearing. That's what I'm going to do next Thursday, I think. Am I in on No, we're not here Thursday.
No, because we're at
Not in on Thursday.
Dialer, aren't we?
Oh, at some point I'm going to learn how to do shearing so I can show you do that. Oh, puff quilt. They're all liking the idea of a puff quilt.
It's been on my list to do, but it's something that needs more than just a 1 o'clock. It needs a good hour and 20 sort of thing to show you.
It's a puff.
It's done slightly different like that because you make pleats in them and
well,
stuff.
that's what I was saying earlier. They do, the pleat 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch on all 4 sides, and you sew those in first, and then you have to sew them all together, and then you sew it as a puff, as a unit, and stuff it, and then sew them all together. I thought I'd come up with a really quick idea. Yeah. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow in the shop. Depending on the time is dependent on who comes in the shop at that time, and I'll show you all the lovelies that we have had in recently. Okay, so have a good evening. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.